Welcome to MZmine Coding. I'm Robin, and today we're just going to do some Git basics. So we're going to commit the changes that we just did. We developed a new module, and in IntelliJ or any other software, we just go to the commit menu here, and we can see first of all like all the changes that we did. It's sometimes very good to review those changes. There might be something hidden that we just forgot to revert. And then if we're happy with all the changes, I'm just going to select all the changed classes, and then here we're going to type in adding the spectral entropy of feature list rows MS2 spectra, something like this. We can also add some more description down here, or we just keep it to the title. One very nice option in IntelliJ is that here we have the commit options, and typically I run most of these. So we have the reformat code. So I do use the format from MZmine. We have the rearrange, optimize, import, analyze code, and then check like some cleanup and update the copyright. So there should be a copyright over each of the Java files that you commit, and also like other files. And that's done automatically in those settings. And if I now just do commit and push, it's first going to tell me there's some warnings. Warnings is kind of okay. If there's some errors, I definitely have to address them first. But it's still good to look into those warnings. And of course, because we also changed some other code that's already been there, maybe those warnings not going to be so important. The first warning is, for example, that the project is never used. If you see like a gray field here, I can just Alt-Enter and then remove the field, which is, I think, very reasonable because in this task, we're not going to work with the project either way. We just work with a feature list. So we remove it, and we can see how it's also being removed here from this method signature, or like from inside the method. But we can also remove it, save delete project from the method signature, and now it's removed. And also in the module where we create the task, it's also removed. So if we do it this way, like Alt Enter and Save Delete, we don't have to worry that much that we forget any instance where it's still used and needed. Then we have a field can be converted to a local variable. It was the same, it was also project. So either it was a local variable or it's never accessed, so we deleted it. Then we have process row is never used. Right now, that's true because there was the first implementation that we did, and then we had a second implementation that's actually the new one. We can still keep it in here, but honestly, we did a very bad job. Like we should have actually just said, like gave it some Java documentation. So just like the dash and then, or like slash and 2 stars is the Java documentation. And I can say uses the most intense mass spectrum, fragmentation mass spectrum. And also for this one, I should also define some Javadoc usually. So going through the like those warnings is actually kind of nice. With the main menu, I definitely know that those references here, like I don't have to care because this one is full of like other modules and things. I don't have to go through all of that now. But if I now try to commit and push, it's going to reanalyze. It's going to tell me that there is some other things now. So still we have actually like a parameter row that is not being described. Okay, so I delete it, and then it's still not used. But we know it's not used, so it's totally fine to keep it here just as a reference. And then we can actually go forward and we commit and push the changes. So you can see here we commit and push the changes upstream. This one was the commit that we just did, and there might be some more commits down here that you have not authored, or that might be some older commits. That's only because my like my master branch, it was actually not completely up to date, and I like on the remote on GitHub, it was not up to date. I usually don't even keep it up to date because I'm not using it. Um, so this I don't really care about that much. So I'm just pushing basically this commit now, and it's up to date. If we push the commit, there's now like two options how we can create the pull request. And I think a very nice and easy option is actually just going to the pull request menu here. We can press the plus button up here, and in here, you should find something like MZmine, MZmine 3 master, MZmine master, and then your account, MZmine, your branch. And this means that from GitHub to GitHub, we're going to create a pull request from between these two branches. And of course, we're going to describe it here, spectral entropy for feature list rows. We can add some description, and we should also add some description, like why is it used, like what is the outcome, what is the input, and so on. We can add some screenshots to make it even easier to review. And we can again look at the files and the commits to see that there's no trash in there. So we did not accidentally, for example, change a whole bunch of other files, which, for example, sometimes happens if you just rename some of the files, or if you rename some like folder structure, then you rename like hundreds of files. So it's very important that you just check that this is reasonable, and then we can directly create a pull request and is going to be online. So, and then from here, I can actually go and right refresh, and then right click and open on GitHub. And on GitHub, we're going to see that the spectral entropy pull request was opened. There's now automatically some task running. So we have some continuous integration, some tests running. It's building MZmine on Ubuntu, on Mac, and on Windows, and is then also running some of the tests. And once this is done, we can even directly download a version for each of these like systems. We can download versions, we can give it to collaborators, so we can already like easily distribute this test version. Yeah, so it's a very easy way of getting people to try out your new stuff. As a first time contributor, those tasks are not going to run automatically, so we have to actually have someone from the admins approve to run them, and then later, like after the first commit, you're going to be able to run them automatically for any upcoming commit. And that's it. So now someone will have to come, we can request someone to review the changes, and then we hopefully get into discussion how to merge it, how to maybe improve it, and that's how we get things into MZmine.